Hello friends, you're with the Lonesome Gamer, and today I'm gonna play Fireteam Zero, published by Emergent Games. And you can see that's a big box. Actually, this is here the side. It's basically twice as big as my hand. It's completely insane. I don't have any box as big as that one. And yeah, there's a lot inside. It's some real Ameritrash. The theme is amazing. You have 4 heroes, some elite soldiers that are fighting possessed humans and animals during the Second World War. Okay, let's set up the game. Okay, so the game is set, and because there are already a few playthroughs about the first act of the first mission, I want to do something else, and I'm going to do the first act of the second campaign. So let's start here with the operation briefing. At 1800 hours on 28th July, Division Zero interrogators Don Carlson and Scott Bukowski were found dead in an interrogation room at Start Station Delta 9. The station logs indicate that one of their own field agents was captured after attacking an area patrol with a pocket knife. He appeared drugged and injured several soldiers before being subdued. A sample case was discovered on his person and confiscated. What occurred during questioning is unknown, but the prisoner appears to have escaped his restraints by pulling his hand through one of the cuffs, tearing off several fingers in the process. He proceeded to overpower Carlson and Bukowski, killing them. Both men were found with multiple stab wounds from Carlson's pen, as well as severe lacerations of the face and neck of unknown origins. The prisoner was shot several times by station security fleeing the building, but was not apprehended. His whereabouts are unknown. Fireteam Zero is to deploy immediately to Division Zero Station Delta 9 to investigate the incident, which is believed to be artifacture related. Okay. Now we have here Operation A Mother's Love, Act 1, Betrayal. I'm all for secrecy, but Division Zero takes it to a whole new level. They put us on a plane with blocked out windows, then blindfolded us for the ride to the research facility. Shed let them put the blindfold on as a favor to me, although to tell the truth, I've almost let them try to force one on him just to see what would happen. The conference room they took us to looked The conference room they took us to looked like every other army office I'd ever seen. The only indications that this was a Division Zero facility were the steel shutters over the windows and the lab coats instead of uniforms everywhere. Everything was perfectly normal until the alarms went off and the screaming started. By the time we got into our go bags and geared up, the facility was locked down and the body count was rising. Looks like this briefing just became hands-on. Mission goal: defend the Division Zero research station. Okay, so we have as monsters the bait bag, these minions here, 2 for every hero, and this gives you also an opportunity to take a look at them. And the miniatures, whoops, they are really excellent. Definitely top notch. Love the miniatures of this game. Okay. Then our goal is we have to retrieve the blood sample, and here we have the objective cards. According to the station logs, there's a blood sample of the mysterious prisoner around here somewhere. Henry needs to see it. That's our scholar, basically. Find the traitor. The base has been locked down since the prisoner escaped. That means that whoever started this mess is one of ours. They're gonna need to answer a few questions. And finally, defuse the bomb. One of the researchers claims to have seen a bomb somewhere in the building. The good news is that the warning may save our lives. The bad news is that he bled out in the hallway before he could tell us where it is. If we can find it, Don can shut it down. Well, Don is this guy. This is our demolitions expert. Okay, let's take a closer look at our 4 heroes. The game only comes with 4 heroes, so you always have to play these, basically. There are, in the Kickstarter, there are alternative hero miniatures, but in the end the cards and the abilities are the same. And there is a female and a male variant for the leader. In this case, we're going to go with Maxine Moxie Hall. They seemed surprised when I volunteered to fight the Nazis for my country. They seemed surprised again when I volunteered to fight these creatures for humanity. Typical. Naturally, they're never surprised when I win. So she's our leader, and I randomly selected her special ability, or picked it randomly. During the tactics phase, you may choose any hero to be the new start player. So each of these has some special abilities. These focus, some are for the leaders, some for the demolition, some for the close combat. And at the beginning of the game, or of this mission, they get one of these focus cards. In addition, they have all their own deck, and they start with their deck, and 5 of these cards are their hand cards, and I've already placed them here. And by the way, I'll also let you take a closer look at her. That is, oops, there she goes. Yeah. That is Moxie, I guess. Yeah, Moxie Hall. Then we have Don Sonny Heimel. I never heard so much complaining in my life. First, they're mad because there are too many monsters. Now they're mad about catching a little shrapnel. Make up your minds already. So this is the demolitions and combat medic. And he's got as a special ability hit the dirt. When you perform a bomb attack against a target in your location, you take no damage from the attack. Usually, during a bomb attack, every target, every hero, every monster in the location takes damage. This does not apply to him thanks to this specific ability. And we got this guy here throwing some grenade, I guess. Here we have Shadrow Red Decatur. The monsters, they don't bother me none. The only thing to be scared of in the dark is me. Well, we'll see about that, right? Close combat. After any monster attacks you, you may perform an attack action against that monster as a reaction. And we'll see the guy here. Finally, we got Frank Twopenny Eaton. To be honest, these creepy bastards all look the same to me, though the scope... What? Through the scope, dead. And he's a marksman. Once per round, you may perform a bullet attack against a monster as a reaction when it moves into your location or an adjacent one. And there he is with his rifle. And finally we got 2 specialists. With the Kickstarter you get 2 extra ones. And otherwise there are only 2 that come with the base game. One of them is Patrick K. Kowalski. You ever hear of point and shoot? Well, I point and they shoot. All my life I've been a freak. At least now I'm a useful one. Okay, this is our guy. And let's see, where is he? There he is. Okay, and these specialists, they don't have any cards or something. They just can move around with your heroes, and this guy gives you an advantage. If you are within range 1 of this specialist, you may perform search actions as a free action. And then we got Folklorist Minsk. This guy, everything living follows its own nature, including you and I. And if you know that nature, you have power over that thing, even if it is not necessarily natural or alive. And this is him. Once per round, change a monster activation die result to blank. In addition, with the Africa cycle, which is an expansion, there come gear cards. And they should be shuffled into the Reckon deck. And I did that. So it is now possible that there are not only events in here, but also gear. Problem is, on the back side of these gear cards, there is actually gear written. So that's why I have to draw from the bottom of this deck now, which is a little stupid. Furthermore, these twists here, usually every turn this moves 1 step forward, and when it reaches such a space, we have to draw a twist card, and these twist cards give the monsters, or they kind of change the rules to your disadvantage, let's say it that way. And because I found the game extremely hard, I'm only going to use the first twist and the third twist. So there is a maximum of 2 twists possible to make it a little easier for me. I'm probably going to be dead extremely soon anyway. Although I was kind of lucky with spawning the monsters, I guess I was. For now at least, most of them are not too close. There is one guy here. I mean, we start over there, right? There's one guy here. A ton of them are here. And some of them are down here. And the way that spawning mechanism works is fairly simple. You have these spawn points here on the map where you place your counters, and roll simply a 12-sided die, and the number then indicates where to spawn the monsters, and you basically spawn every monster that is available. And right now these are 2 of these bait bags per hero. So our goal is to fulfill these 3 missions, and well, basically we do this by searching these spawn points, and then we draw one of these recon cards. And there are 12 of these cards, 1 for each spawn point, and 3 of them will have special events that somehow relate to these objectives. And then they will tell us what happens or what exactly we have to do to fulfill the objectives. After we've fulfilled them, we have to end up in this space. This is the exit, and we have to make it all alive there. So as soon as the first character is killed, well, that's not quite correct. Actually, if a character is massively wounded, which means that by the end of the turn he is laying on the board because he had to discard more cards than he had on his hand, then this coin is flipped to that side. And there are ways to flip this coin again. For example, if you fulfill one of these 2 objectives here, that would allow us to flip the coin again. But if at any time the coin, if the coin shows this side and a character must discard more cards than he has into his hands, then the game is over and we've lost. You could see these cards as life points, and if you take a wound you have to discard a card, and well, if you have to go below 0, you're so badly wounded that you have to lay down your miniature, and as I said, you got to flip the coin. So finally, let's take a closer look at these monsters. They have 2 life points. They also have a defensive value, so that means during an attack, if it is a brawl attack, they can ignore the first hit. If it is a bullet attack, they can even ignore the first 2 hits. And if it is a bomb attack or grenade attack, they can also ignore the first hit. That sucks. They have a movement value of 2. They attack wait a second, what does that mean? Well, they do a brawl attack. Yeah, exactly. They do a brawl attack with 2 dice if they are in a range of 0. So if they are in the same space with a hero, what they do is they're going to roll 2 dice. That's what the number 2 here indicates. And each of these fist markers, these ones here, will be a hit. Okay. Now, they got a special ability which simply says move. So I guess they get a special movement point for that, or an extra movement point for that. And finally, wait a minute, is that so? No, their special ability is rush. That's bullshit. No. Wait a second. No, that is just something, a special ability that always applies, the rush. If it spawns adjacent to a hero, it moves immediately to that hero's location. That's kind of dangerous. And the special symbol here means that they get an additional movement, I guess. So, usually a hero turn starts with the tactical phase, but in the first round that will not happen. So the next phase is then called the hero phase, and that's when the heroes can perform actions and move. And they got 2 movement points. Now there is this so-called difficult terrain, which is this one, indicated here by that symbol and also by the color. And to enter this type of terrain, you need to spend both movement points. Otherwise, you can simply enter a single space per movement point. This here is impassable terrain, indicated by these yellow lines. So nobody is allowed to enter that. By the way, the monsters don't have to... They can ignore the difficult terrain. That costs them simply 1 movement point to enter that. But they are also not allowed to enter the impassable terrain. Something that is actually not mentioned in the rules, I didn't find it, but it's in on BGG. There are threads about that, and the designer has mentioned that there. These solid white lines, they are also impassable. These are fine, you can move through there and through here, but not the solid ones. But they don't block line of sight. Actually, there is no line of sight in the game. Only range matters. You can basically shoot through whatever walls or holes in the walls or windows and so on. And when it comes now to the actions, as I said, you can either move or you can move, and then you can still do an attack. Or instead of attacking, you can search. Exactly. And then there are some special actions that come from focus cards or objective cards. But basically it's movement and then attacking or searching. And you can also move, for example, you can use 1 movement point, then do your action, and then use the other movement point. You can do that in any order you want. So, let me see who's gonna start that. I think I want to start with Don Heimel. Yeah, why not? So he's going to move 2 spaces right here. So that is this guy, 1, 2, and then he's going to do his action and he's going to throw the high X in there. That has a range of 1, so that means we can throw it basically 1 space away. And now it shows this 2 and a grenade symbol. So that means we can use 2 dice, and then we simply count the numbers of grenades that we roll with these 2 dice. So it's a fairly simple system. And in the end, this guy can ignore 1 grenade and has 2 life points. So in the end we need 3 grenades with 2 dice to actually kill him. And it would be good if we could actually do that. I wonder if I got some... let me see, maybe I got some option to improve his odds. Well, I'm not too happy with the cards that I have, so I'm simply going to play this card now. And hopefully it's going to be good enough. And it's not. That sucks. We only did 2 hits, and therefore we couldn't kill this thing, which means it actually does not take any damage at all. So you cannot injure these guys. That's difficult if you fight boss monsters, but this is a minion, as you can see here, and you cannot injure minions. You either kill them or there is no effect. So that was a pretty bad start for me. Now we come to the next guy, and now I go simply from left to right from the start player here. And wait a second, I should have a marker for the start player actually. Okay, this is now our marker for the starting player. And then let's see. Shit. Huh. Yeah, that's not great. Shit. I don't really see... Okay, maybe that would be an option. I could try it with him. Okay, so here's the thing. I guess I want to move with him. Nor up. Okay. Does that make sense? Why not? Yeah, I want to do that. So I'm simply going to move, with him through the door here. It's difficult terrain, so it costs me 2 to enter this room. And then as an action, I'm simply going to search it. And I'm going to flip that marker now to indicate that I searched the marker. And then I'm going to draw from the bottom of the deck. And we found some gear here. And you can see some of these cards indicate gear, others reckon. That does not make too much sense for me, but anyway. Bone dice. You open your fist to see that the strange symbols on the face of the dice have shifted yet again. You focus as much as you can through the pounding in your head and throw the dice. When your head clears, everything is different. As an action, you may take 2 unblockable damage and replace one of your current focus cards with a different one. Now that's an interesting option, but I think I don't want to do that. I think that's a pretty good one. So, yeah, that's not too great. Okay, fine. Then it's Frank Twopenny Eaton. And yeah, he's gonna move also 2 spaces, I guess. Okay, so I'm gonna play Frank. I'm gonna move in 2 spaces also here. And then we're gonna play our how to tell. I think I want to play this one, the hydrostatic shock. That would give me 3 dice for a bullet attack. Problem is that they have a defense of 2 against bullet attacks. So I guess, just to be sure that this won't go wrong, will play the supporting fire here. This is a so-called reaction. And I can play 1 reaction per action. So this guy did the action and this guy plays the reaction. And that says now, if the monster is in the range of 1, play before an ally performs a bullet attack to increase their attack strength by 2. That means now that we have an overall attack strength of 5. And that should be enough, I hope. By the way, you cannot have a higher attack strength than 8. That is simply not allowed. So we got 5 dice. And we need in the end 4 bullets. Yeah, there we go. We do have those. So this was the demolitions card, and that here was the marksman's card. By the way, what we also could have done, we could have played, for example, more than 1 attack card as long as they have the same type. For example, I could have played this hydrostatic shock, and that would have given me 6 attack dice, but I wanted to keep that for some later use. So I only played 1 of these hydrostatic shocks. So basically you can play as many cards as you have, as long as the range and the attack type allows it. So this guy is now removed. Sadly, there is no reward or anything, or that he drops some kind of thing. That's not going to happen here. He's simply gone. And now, as a last movement action, we have our leader, Moxie, and she moves now down here. And there we come now to an important point. These are the specialists, right? You can never leave specialists alone on a space. You can simply take them with any figure. They can also be separated. That the two specialists don't have to stay together all the time. You can move them with a character, and that doesn't cost you anything in addition. So that's what we're going to do. We move down here. And actually, we're now allowed to do a search action. I'm going to do that. So we draw our next card. And that is another gear card. Sigil Worm. An ugly tattoo of a venomous... What? venomous centipede circles the corpse's arm, small wounds marring the dark lines of ink. When you shift the body to get at its pack, the tattoo darts off the corpse's arm and onto your own. You take 1 unblockable damage each time you kill a minion or elite. You may discard this item if you are knocked down. Holy shit. That sucks really badly. Phew. Very, very bad. But okay. So I guess that is then the end of the hero's turn. And, well, actually I could move another space. And I think I want to do... Yeah, do I? No, I don't. I'm going to stay here simply because as long as I share the space with a spawn point, that spawn point is blocked. So it's not impossible that on these 2 spawn points we will see some enemies appearing. Okay, let's go on. We are now in the threat phase. So the first thing that happens is we advance the threat token by 1 space. And then we activate the monsters, all of them. And we can basically decide in which order we want to do this. So first we do the movement, 2 spaces, and that's very simple. The monster simply moves to the closest hero. And if there are more heroes in the same distance, it goes for the hero who's first in turn order. So in this case, as I already mentioned, we have a movement of 2, which is indicated by this symbol here. So the monster moves 2 spaces. Now we're going to roll the die, this really ugly green die. It looks absolutely awful. And that is a special ability. That's not good, because that means now that the monster can simply move again. If its special ability shows up, it will move again. And that was actually the only way it could come it could come above us. So it will move 1, 2 spaces. Remember, it can ignore difficult terrain. So it is now right here. And yeah, now we're going to do the attack. And the monster rolls 2 dice and does a brawl attack, because now it is there is no the range is 0. That means that it will attack us. Question is now, who's going to be attacked? Either the demolition guy or the marksman, and because the demolition guy was first in turn order, he's the one that will be attacked, and he's the one who also has the least life points. So that is not good. Maybe there is something we can do against that. First of all, what you always can do is you can say, I want to take the attack instead of someone else on my space. So the marksman could decide that he wants to take the attack instead, and then he has to take it. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a smoke grenade. Play before a monster attacks an ally to reduce its attack strength by 1. So that means the monster can now only roll 1 die. and it attacks Frank. And okay, these are 3 grenades, so no problems here. Then, well, I say we continue with this guy here. And basically also moves 2 spaces, so I guess he moves 1, 2, and then we roll the die, and shit, he is also allowed to move again, but luckily this time he's not quite there, so he moves here, and he's not allowed to attack us. This guy moves also here, and nothing happens. Was the blank side. This guy, he moves also here, and another movement, and actually there are 2 of this special ability, 1 blank side, and then 3 extra movement sides. So that means that guy also ends up here. Then we continue with him. So he moves 1, 2 spaces. And let me see, there was this guy. Once per round, change a monster activation die result to blank. Change. So I think I can actually wait and see what that guy rolls. Okay, fine, it's blank anyway, so it doesn't continue moving. Then we will activate him. He moves 1, 2 spaces. Roll a die. Oh, great. And now it's this guy. 1, 2. And he moves a second time, which brings him then here. Okay. Now, I don't know if you've seen playthroughs of the first scenario of the first campaign, which basically takes place in a wood. That is pretty strange. Well, it's not strange, but I think it's pretty hard, because there, it's not like this where you have these rooms there where the monsters have to move through the corridors and through the rooms, and it's basically one big area which is divided into spaces, but from most spaces the monsters can reach nearly every point on the board, at least if they do an additional movement. So I think that makes this first mission, well, first of all, pretty hard, and second of all, not terribly interesting, because you have all the monsters right always on you. I haven't played that mission before, but it seems actually a little better to me. Okay, so we're now done with this monster activation, and that means that now we come again, the turn is over now, and we come now to the tactical phase. So first we have to determine who's going to be the new starting player. So by the way, you cannot move away from a space that you share with a monster. So it might be a good idea to get rid of this guy first. Oh, and actually I forgot one thing. At the end of the turn, all the monsters that were killed, they went back in the spawn pool, and that means that this guy will be spawned again now. So it shows up at space number 4, which is here. he will not be activated because that happens after the activation phase. If we should have rolled one of these spawn points that we block, we simply had to roll again until we find a valid spawn point. Okay, let me see what I can do. We got... It really is hard to tell. Okay, I decided that Frank should go first. I can do that because of this assign point ability. Usually the marker would simply go to the next player, but in this case I can decide who goes first. I want to be red going last because I want to move red probably here, from there to here, and then if this guy shows up, I don't want him to attack red because I want him to attack the whole pack, so that they might have a better option to defend themselves. And if red goes last, then it will not attack him. So now what we got to do is we simply draw cards. No, that's actually not true. First we can play a tactical response card. Now these are these cards here. And they are pretty awesome because they are extremely strong. The only problem with them, if you play them, and you can also only play, I mean, they have also two sections. They have a standard attack section, which is usually a really strong attack. And you can play that attack like any other. But if you play this down here, the tactical response, which is usually even better, then that means that you're not allowed to draw any additional cards during this turn. So usually I could draw up to my full hand size, which would be 5 now during the tactical phase. But if I play this card, for example, I would not be allowed to draw any more cards, so I would have to survive this with a single card, which is a little risky. I mean, I could allow him to do that. But I'm not even sure if I need this. Actually, I realized when that guy entered the location of the marksman here, I could have done this opportunity fire. You may perform a bullet attack against a monster as a reaction when it moves into your location or an adjacent one. So, yeah, I should have done that. But okay, I missed it. And still not sure what I want to do. I think I'm not going to play one of these cards. I feel like I'm in a pretty good shape for now. So I'm simply going to draw a few more cards here up to my full hand size. So we got 5 cards here. This guy can also draw another one. And this is it. Okay, now we come to the hero phase and we got to start fighting again. Again, I made a mistake here, and you can see there are many interesting tactical options in this game. I could have played with Sonny. I could have played that card here, the satchel charge, 5 grenades to attack these 2 suckers here. That would have killed them both because these grenades affect every target in the space. And I could have played then the the command decision to keep the card. They retain the card instead of discarding it. That would have been awesome. The problem is now that he goes actually as the third player. And therefore, if I want to follow that plan, nobody could enter this area before he does the attack. Still, I might do it. On the other hand, he is the last and he's up there. Shit. Boy. And it's a tough one. I mean, I could consider it anyway. Okay, actually, you know what? I decided not to do it that way. I wanna give him the first player. I had that card already in the last turn, and I also had that card in the last turn. So I think, yeah, that's okay. So we're gonna play this card, use the 5 grenades here to attack these suckers. And yeah, okay, I mean, this is insane. We got 10 hits here. So obviously they're both killed. And instead of throwing that card away, I'm going to play this command decision. So that means that she is now allowed, or he's allowed to keep the card instead. But he cannot move, actually. This is kind of a problem. He cannot move. So these two guys might become dangerous for him. Okay, now it's red. And yeah, he moves right into this room now. Is that true? Maybe not. Maybe I think I want to move down here. I guess that makes more sense. Then we can search this room first, and then kind of move across the board. Otherwise, if we go here first and we don't find everything there, we got to move down here, and things are getting more and more complicated. So I guess I want to move there, then this way, that way, and in the end I'm going to move there. That's the plan. Okay, now I could do an attack. So honestly, I think I don't want to do the attack. Let me see, we got this guy. He will be here in the next turn, which is a problem. Maybe it's a better idea to get rid of him. The only card I could play is this one, the Bullseye. That should do it. But the reaction is very strong. Play before a minion or elite attacks to prevent it from attacking. Anyway, I think I gotta get rid of this guy. Well, on the other hand, he should be able to deal with him. Oh boy. No, I think I want to get rid of him. So we take 3 dice. Oops. And I think we need we need one more bullet here. And there we go. Yep. So we killed him. And that card is gone. Okay, now Frank can actually move in here. And he can search the area. So let's see what we get. That is a Reckon card. Cage of Bones. You find a delicate cage of bones hidden underneath some debris. Inside is what appears to be a translucent beetle. It glows with a soft blue light, and the sound of chimes and distant laughter fills the air as it rustles its wings. You break open the cage and it circles you in gratitude before vanishing into the distance. Flip the lucky coin face up. Well, sadly, it already is face up, so that doesn't help us a lot. But at least nothing bad happened, and we searched now this area. Okay, now it's her, Moxie, and where is she gonna go? Well, I guess she will enter. Yeah, these guys stay here, will they? Yeah, probably. I guess she simply moves here to help him out in case something... I mean, she could also move here and try to kill one of these guys. But that is definitely a risk, because she will then be attacked probably by at least 2 other of these bait bags, and I don't want to risk that. So therefore, I'm going to remain here. And yeah, guess that's it then for the turn. And now we can activate the monsters. So first, this threat track goes up, and now we start activating the monsters. And first this guy moves here, but this time I'm going to remember my opportunity fire, and I can do a bullet attack. So I think I think I'm going to play the hydrostatic shock. And we got 3 dice and need 4 successes. And that is just good enough. Holy shit. Okay, so that was a success, and that means that this guy is killed too. Very good. So then we activate this one, and he moves 1, 2 spaces. And then we roll the dice, and that is a movement action, so he moves 1 more space. Now, remember there is a difference. This would activate its special ability, which would give him again its full movement. That would be 2 spaces, but that means it's just 1 additional space. And then we got these guys here. Yeah, that's not so great. This guy moves here, and we don't have to roll here. And yeah, we're going to see an attack there. Now let me see if I can do anything to help. Not with these guys. Huh. Nah. Yeah, that actually sucks. We don't have... I don't think I can do anything here to help these two guys over there. So I guess Don is the first player, so he gets attacked by the monster. And right now Moxie doesn't want to jump in between the two. So let's hope it's not too bad. I don't want to lose this satchel charge especially. So the monster attacks with 2 dice, and it takes the fists. Okay, that was okay. We got 2 damage. That's not great. Didn't I? I thought I had some. I played that one. Yeah. Okay, so I think I'm gonna give away these 2. It's a shame, but okay, they go away. Then we're gonna see this guy activating, and he also moves 2 spaces right here, and he also attacks them. And now she says, hey, yeah, okay, I'm gonna take that. And again, we roll 2 dice and hope that we're lucky. That wasn't that great, but at least she's still alive. Oh, wait a second, is that? Yeah, okay, these were 3 hits. So she's got to discard 3 cards here. Okay, I'm only keeping this knuckle duster, and the others go away. And finally this guy activates, and he moves 2 spaces, and now he rolls the die, but no matter what shows up, I got this guy, Minsk. So I can change his activation die to blank, and that means he will stay here and don't move any further, and that's a pretty good thing actually. Okay, so that was already kind of dangerous. And now we got to spawn the other guys. That's an 8. That is here. And we got a 7, which is here. That's not so bad. The guy has to move down here. You know, this is a solid line, so he has to move through this door here. That's okay, I guess. One of these guys. That's a 5. Okay, that is actually blocked. So that's okay. We have to roll again. That's an 11. This is here. That's also okay, I guess. And then finally we have a 9, which is here. Okay. So I guess we do one more turn and hope for the best here. Well, actually I decided to load this up at that point. I think I've did quite a bit. So, well, what can I say? I think we're still doing okay. This sigil worm is definitely not a good thing. But apart from that, well, the lucky coin is still face up. That's definitely the most important thing. We have a few of these tactical response cards, which I don't know if we want to use them. It's hard to tell, actually. I mean, we could now. Not sure. I think the most important thing in this game is definitely to kind of stay together, because if you're alone, you're really an easy target, and then things become really dangerous. So, okay, we'll see how it goes on. And by the way, if I should be able to win this scenario, which is possible, I'm going to continue the campaign. There are overall 3 scenarios in this campaign, and let's see. I mean, if it works well, I'm gonna do 2 or maybe all of them, or maybe just 1 more video and I will be killed. Who knows that? So hope to see you on the next video or on lonesomegamer.com. Bye.